Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Phyllis, also I'm known as KuanYin. And today I'm going to be talking about yoga and the type of yoga that I do, that I lead as a teacher and that I practice in my personal life. And a little bit of mindfulness, meditation, body awareness, all of that in this video. And I'd like to give a shout out to my daughter Jen, and she wanted to hear more about my style of yoga. So let's get into the video. All right, so what I do, the way that I do yoga, I try to help people connect with their bodies and with their body sensations. And what this does, when there has been trauma, and pretty much all of us have gone through some form of trauma at some point in our life, so anyone can benefit from this. But when we go through a trauma, our muscles have memories of that. For instance, like if my arm got pulled back in a moment of abuse, then anytime that I found myself making this type of arm movement, I might experience an inner sort of dread without knowing where it's coming from, because the body remembers. I might not, my mind may have blocked the memory, but my body would remember that. And sometimes when we have like a pain in the shoulder, it might be because at some point in our life, something traumatic has happened. The body remembers, and if we, for instance, witness some physical abuse somewhere that reminds us of that, even though our minds have blocked it, the body may respond by saying, the shoulder, it's hurting right now. Okay, so just becoming aware, we don't even need to delve into what the original trauma was for this practice to work. So all we do is we are dropping our consciousness back down into our bodies and becoming aware of what we're feeling. And so in everyday life, if my shoulder starts hurting, I just need to stop and recognize and put my awareness there and feel that sensation. And sometimes that's enough to get that to stop. All right, but when I lead my yoga classes, what I'm doing is teaching people to drop into their bodies and feeling, just learning to feel sensations, learning to become aware of the body and its sensations. And quite often I'll start that. Right now I'm sitting in a chair with my feet flat on the floor in my socks. And if you'd like to practice this with me, I suggest that if you have shoes on, you take them off, have bare feet or with socks on. And you can sit in a chair or you can stand for this with your feet flat on the floor. The point here is to be able to feel the connection with your feet on the floor. So we start just dropping into our breathing. And I don't want to change my breathing right now. Right now I'm just becoming aware of where my breath is at this moment. I find that it's easier for me to practice this if I close my eyes. And you can follow along and choose to close your eyes or choose to keep them open or with a soft gaze somewhere in front of you. And I'm just noticing my breathing right now, my normal breathing pattern. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Am I breathing into the upper parts of my chest and raising my shoulders? Or am I breathing in more toward the belly and raising the belly in and out as I breathe? Just noticing these types of things. Noticing if my mouth is open, if I'm breathing through my mouth or if I'm breathing through my nose. Just sensing the air as it's flowing in or out of my nose and mouth. Is it cool as it goes in? Is my breath warm as I exhale? And how well can I recognize and feel the breath flowing in and out. And once I've dropped into my breathing pattern, then I drop my awareness to my feet and feel the connection with the floor. Do I even feel the connection with the floor? Can I sense the floor, the pressure between the floor and the bottom of my feet? What's the surface under my feet? Right now, I'm feeling carpet. Kind of a soft, squishy feeling, and if I wiggle my toes around, I can feel and sense the carpet being warm and fuzzy. If I were to move 2 feet over to my other side, I'm putting my foot out there. It's a laminate wood and it feels cool to my foot. So right now my feet are on 2 different surfaces and I can feel the difference in the texture, in the temperature, and even in the pressure that I'm applying onto the bottom of my foot. So I'm just becoming aware of these types of sensations. And where else am I connecting with something? I'm sitting in a chair right now, so I'm noticing the backs of my legs and my bottom side connected with the chair. I'm leaning forward in the chair a little bit, but part of my lower back is touching the chair, and I can feel where the bar of the chair hits the lower part of my back. I'm just noticing this. And I'm noticing my weight pushing into the chair and the sensation on the backs of my legs, and I can feel the edge of the chair toward my knee on the back of my upper leg. And this is how I start my practice, dropping into the awarenesses of my body. Another thing that I can do is, I'm wearing a short sleeved shirt right now, and I'm feeling the air on my bare arms. And right now I'm in a nice warm room, so I don't really feel much of a temperature difference. But if I were outside, I would notice whether there's a breeze, whether the air is warm or cool. Perhaps noticing if the sun is out, if I can feel the sun on my skin warming me up. Body sensations like that. So it's one of my ways of starting my practice every day is with body awareness and doing sometimes I go through a whole body scan just like that, going head to toe, sometimes toe to head, sometimes jumping around, feet to buttocks to shoulders to knees to neck, whatever I'm sensing at the time. There's no wrong way to do that, and that's a good way just to center yourself down into your body. And sometimes just doing that little practice all on its own is enough to take your mind, your busy mind, off of the busyness. And other ways that you can help do that and help get your mind away from your anxieties and your depression is to do that body scan, the body awareness, and also reach out with the other senses besides feeling and touch. So last night we burnt some incense in this room. I'm still smelling a lingering smell of incense. So I'm just bringing my awareness to the smells that are around me. I'm looking around the room at all the decorations in it, and I'm looking at the colors. I'm picking out one color. That's a good way to drop into your awareness, to your centeredness, to your being in the present moment now, is to pick a color at random and then just look around and see how many things of that color that you spy with your little eye. Or another way to do that is just to look for different textures. Okay, I see the texture of the couch over there with a pillow on it that has a shiny design on it. I'm seeing the lampshade that's pleated. I'm seeing the wood on my walls. I'm seeing a textile decoration I have over on the opposite wall here. I'm looking up at a wreath I have that a friend made for me. And just looking at all the different things that you can see. There's a glass photo up there. And starting to name those things. That's another way to drop into your center when your mind is being way overactive with all of this stuff. So now I'd like just to do perhaps a 3-minute or a 5-minute little practice with you today. So, and we've already started with the grounding and the centering and the body scans. So I'm going to take it from the breath work at this point, and I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to say what I'm doing, and you're free to listen or to join in with me if you wish. So I've dropped into my body sensations. I felt my feet grounded on the floor and my backs of my legs on the chair, and my arms are now resting palms down on my legs, and I can feel the connection between my palms and my legs. And I'm just noticing my breath right now. I'm going to gently close my eyes. So I'm going to close my eyes for this practice, and you can choose to have your eyes open or closed. And closing my eyes just helps me to center and become more inward, more aware of what's going on inside. And I'm just breathing normal and noticing my breath. Feeling the air passing through my nose. And from here I'm choosing to deepen my breathing. And there's a yoga practice called the 3-part breath, where I fill my belly up and expand my belly out. And then I fill my mid-chest, and then I bring it all the way up into my upper chest, and even my throat and my shoulders will raise. And when I exhale, I'll exhale it back down the same way that it comes in. So I'm going to do that for a few breaths here. And from here, I'd like to get some movement in. So I'm going to stay with my breathing practice. And I'm just going to add a few shoulder rolls in with this. I can do my shoulder rolls on their own, or I could do it along with my breath. Inhaling as they go up, and exhaling as they go down. If I do a few shoulder rolls in one direction, I'm going to turn around and do them in the opposite direction too. I can stay as simple or get as fancy as I'd like. Maybe I can do one shoulder, one direction, and the other shoulder. One up while one goes down, and then reversing that. And that feels good. And now I just want to stretch my arms out. So I'm going to stretch like I'm rowing a boat, putting my elbows back and then reaching forward. And as I do this, maybe just getting the arms done is enough for me right now, but perhaps I want to go a little deeper, and I'm going to curve my spine along with it, rounding my spine like a cat as I reach forward, and maybe I want to just hold for a few breaths. Dropping my chin if that feels good. And then rowing my rowboat back while opening up my chest area and curving my spine in a little backward and lifting my chin up and holding just for a few breaths. I can choose to hold this pose or to keep it fluid and moving as I go. And again, if I want to work with the breath, I'm inhaling as I go forward and exhaling as I wind back. Now, inhaling as my chest moves forward and exhaling as I put my arms back forward. Okay, now I'm going to move into some head circles here because that feels good. And perhaps I only want to do half circles. And see how this feels for you. If you happen to be doing this, honor your own body and make note. How is this feeling? Maybe half circles is enough for me today. I could go a whole circle, but being mindful that sometimes whole circles might not feel good on the neck, and that's fine. Everybody should do what they feel is good for them. And I'm going to slow down the head circles here. Come back to a neutral position here. And I feel like I need a few deep breaths and some stretching, so I'm going to put my hands straight down, and as I inhale, I'm going to raise my arms up overhead, reaching high to the sky, and then exhaling them back down. And I'm going to do a few of these. And there's many variations I could do here. I could keep doing this. I could hold up here. I could pretend I'm reaching like I'm reaching for ladders, a ladder rung. One arm and then the other, getting a little bit of a side stretch here. Or if I really want that side stretch, what I could do is put one arm down and lean over to that side a little bit more, getting a side stretch. Inhaling both arms back up and putting that other arm down, stretching to the other side if that feels good. And I inhale as I go up and I exhale as I go down in my practice. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And from here I want a little bit of a twist. Well, first off, I'm going to interlace my fingers and go up like this and get a nice big stretch, stretching my spine with a little curve. And then coming back and loosening that out. Now, I would like a little bit of a twist right now. So you can continue with those arm movements or do whatever you think feels good, or you can join me with a twist. I'm going to inhale my arms up. And as I exhale, I'm going to look over my right shoulder, putting my right arm behind me and my left hand to my right knee. And I can grab a hold of the chair here. And just look out over my right shoulder, taking a few nice deep breaths here, and as I inhale, I get up nice and tall. And on the exhale, maybe I look just a little bit further behind. Okay, my next inhale, I'm putting my arms back up overhead, and now I'm going back to the other side, looking out over my left shoulder. And I've got my hand on the chair, my left hand is behind me on the chair, and my right hand is on my left knee as I'm looking out over that left shoulder. Inhaling, maybe I get a little bit taller. And exhaling, maybe I can look just a little bit further over that shoulder. Inhaling, arms up overhead, and I'm going to exhale my hands to heart center. And for a little introduction video, I think we've gone long enough here. I hope this has helped you out, and you may share this video if you can think of someone that would benefit from some of this. And I wish you guys to stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong, and I'll see you in my next video. Namaste.